Hi guys, Darth News is here with another Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch action figure review. And today we'll take a look at the Imperial Royal Guard 6-inch figure. This is one I've been wanting for pretty much since it came out. I was always pumped for this release when they first announced it. I love the Royal Guards. Some of my favorite Imperial troop, I guess you could say. And this figure's been pretty hard to find. I have not found it at all in stores and retail. I got mine on BigBadToyStore.com. They're in stock for a decent price, and so I ordered it on there. The only time I've seen these is when I follow some of my local comic book shops on Facebook, and when sometimes they post they get new figures in, and they've gotten the Royal Guards in once, and everything. Each time I've gone, they've been snagged up. So yeah, he's in high demand. He's not easy to find, at least up here in Canada. Anyways, take a look at the packaging first. And this is one of the few figures from the Black Series line where I think the red and black packaging really works because it falls right into the color scheme of the actual figure itself. You got the red backdrop with the black packaging. You've got the Star Wars logo there. You've got the figure inside. You've got the cool image of the Royal Guard, Imperial Royal Guard. Royal Guard on the side, this is number 38. An image of the Royal Guard there, and a brief bio which says, resplendent in crimson robes and armor, the Imperial Royal Guard protected the Emperor. Secrecy shredded the Guard, with rumors abounding about the Sentinels' backgrounds and combat capabilities. So, pretty cool. They did make a 3 3/4 inch figure for the Black Series, which was a re-release of the Vintage Collection figure. I do have that, but do not have it with me, so I won't be doing a comparison, unfortunately. But I'll tell you my thoughts, what I think about the two anyways. Anyways, let's crack this guy open and we'll take a closer look at the figure. Alright, now I have the figure out of the packaging. This is a pretty cool figure. It's not without its flaws, and it is actually pretty flawed in a lot of ways. I think it could have been better. But for the most part, I do really like it. I think it looks really cool. And it's an awesome addition to the collection. So taking a look first, there's not a whole lot to go on about right away with the sculpt and detailing. As you see, you can't get him to hold his force pike in the very classic sort of look as I have here. I'm just going to remove that real quick so we can get a closer look at the figure. Okay, now we will look at the details here. I apologize for my camera. It's not bringing up the colors as nicely. The red is a bit more vibrant than what's showing. But the helmet sculpt's really nice. I like it a lot. The black visor looks really good. There's no real paint errors going on. The red used for the helmet is nice, glossy red. Maybe it could be a bit glossier. Force art looks really good, shines nicely, it looks pretty cool. And all the sculpting's there, and I absolutely love the design of the Royal Guard helmet. I think it looks really, really cool. The soft goods is interesting. There's things I like about it, like I like the material they use. It's a very nice material. The color is interesting. It's a significantly darker red than the helmet. I have not, I haven't seen them in the film. I haven't watched any of the films lately or anything like that, or any scene with the Royal Guards in them, so I can't remember if the contrast is this significant. I know the 3 3/4 inch, the red robes are a lot closer to the same red as the helmet, and I think I do like that look more. These ones are quite a bit darker. And I didn't actually realize that when I watched reviews for this figure. It doesn't show up well on my camera. It looks pretty much the same on here. But in person, you'll notice it a lot more. But the soft goods are nice. Like I said, nice quality. One thing is, though, there's a lot of material going on here. And especially around the shoulders, you can see it's very bunched up. And it kind of protrudes from the shoulders and doesn't kind of just drape down as nicely as I'd like it to. It kind of poofs out a bit. It's not a huge deal and doesn't look terrible or anything, but it's a little less clean, I guess they say, than I'd like it to. It's a lot more ruffled, and I don't really like that. But aside from that, there's not too much else to really talk about in terms of what we see right here. But underneath the robes, he has a lot of extra details, which is actually really cool. I'm going to quickly maneuver his robes so we can get a closer look at that. Alright, now I have the robe folded back, not in a good way. It's quite bunched up. I'm sure you could do it cleaner if you really worked at it. I just wanted to get it moved out so we can get a closer look at the details. And what's really cool is that for the underneath the robe, they took heavy inspiration from the Crimson Empire comic, which I absolutely love. And this is the armor that Kyrkanos and I guess all Royal Guards kind of wore underneath their robes. The Vintage Collection one's a lot different, where he's just wearing sort of normal clothes, but this one's wearing the armor, and it's really cool. You have a very dark, like, burgundy red for the clothing parts, and then you have a nice, bright, glossy, like, red for the armor and boots and stuff, which is really, really cool. And you've got this nice chest armor here with some nice sculpted detail, nice shine to it with the clothing underneath. You got these shoulder pads right here, which is really cool. The back of the armor. The clothing is nicely sculpted to replicate the ripples and the folds in the clothes, which is really cool. He has belt here, a holster to store his blaster, which we'll get to later. The groin piece there, you got some pouches sculpted on. You got the boots here with the legs. Shin armor looks really good. You've got some nice sculpted detail for the buckles, and the buckles are painted, which is a nice touch. Boots look nice, a very nice glossy reds being used here on the leg armor, which is really, really cool. And it looks really, really nice. I really like that detail. They showed that off with the prototype or whatever, and I was really a big fan of that. It looks really, really nice. I'm very happy with that. Definitely easy to do a Kyrkanos custom if you wanted to. Yeah, and I like the fact the robe itself, actually, it's separated on this side, so you can have a slot for his arm to do hold the force pike, and then that also allows you to fold back the cloak if you want to reveal the armor, which is really, really cool. In terms of articulation, which we should cover now, he has a ball joint at the neck with, I'm assuming, is a hinge, though I have no idea, because he has either way. Because of the way the helmet is sculpted, it is softer plastic around the bottom, but even then you're getting almost no articulation. You'll be able to get a little bit of rotation, maybe the slightest up and down, but very, very little articulation going on there. A little unfortunate, but I understand because of the helmet. He has ball hinges at the shoulders, which move decently. Ball hinges at the elbows move about 90 degrees. They do have these sideways cut, so this one, you can get that bent just past 90 degrees maybe. It's just slightly past 90 degrees. You also have a ball hinge at the wrists, which move up and down like this, so that's really cool. What's really cool about this right hand is that it's sculpted so that if you want to, you can hinge it like that and make it so it's super easy to get that force pike holding pose like they're staying there on guard, which is awesome. And his left hand is sculpted specifically to hold his blaster. Ball hinges at the hips, swivel cuts at the thighs, double hinges at the knees, and hinges at the ankles with rocker joints. So your standard Black Series articulation, nothing too crazy going on. A torso joint if I didn't mention it. But yeah, in terms of accessories, it comes with 2 accessories. First of which, he comes with the signature force pike. There's not much to go on about this, but it is a really cool accessory. Has some nice sculpt detail. You got a little button there, the black paint apps for the handle, and you got the sculpt detail on the end here, which looks really good as well. And like I said, he can hold it really well. It's super easy to get him in the sort of guard pose, and you just have him holding it normally too if you want, so that's awesome, and I really do like that a lot. It's maybe a nice sturdy plastic, so while you're not going to want to force it to bend, you don't want it to snap, it can be plied a little bit. But because it's a lot sturdier, it's not going to just warp on you, so that's really good. He also comes with a Scout Trooper blaster pistol, which is in a gray plastic, no other paint apps, but the sculpting's nice. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same sculpt as the Scout Trooper's blaster pistol. That's cool that you get that. Again, like I said, you can hold it in his left hand, and you can also put it in the holster nice and tightly, so that is really cool. Overall, this is a really nice figure. It does have its flaws. It's not perfect, but I do really like it a lot. I think if you're collecting the Black Series 6 line, if you can find this guy, or if you can get him for a good price or whatever, I highly recommend picking him up. I wouldn't pay super premium prices for it. It's not worth it. In terms of how this one is to the 3 3/4 inch, like I said, I don't have it with me to compare side by side, but they both offer something unique, I guess, in a way. This gives you a nice, fully articulated, larger scale version of the, I guess, Crimson Empire sort of Royal Guard. That's fun, a bit funner to pose around, I will say. But I think that the 3 3/4 inch ones, paint apps, like the shades of color on the 3 3/4 inch look a bit better. The soft goods work on the 3 3/4 inch one better. The 3 3/4 inch one comes with a lot more accessories. You can suit him up in the training gear, which makes it almost a 2-in-1 figure. And there's a lot of options with that figure as well, so that one's also really good. And I am slightly leaning towards liking the 3 3/4 inch one more, but this one is still really cool. I'll do a quick comparison with some other Black Series 6-inch figures. First off, I do have the Emperor here, so here he is next to Emperor Palpatine. And he is a little bit taller than him. That makes sense, because the Emperor is a bit shorter than average, so that's cool. And then here he is with the new Royal Guard, so to speak, the Elite Praetorian Guard from The Last Jedi. They're about the same height. I do like the new look. I do like the new look for these guards. I still prefer the old Imperial Guard, but the Praetorian Guards for the First Order do look really cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know anything in the comments below. And as always, may the Force be with you.